Welcome back, guys. Tactical AV here. And while I'm just making some finishing touches to my home theater, there were some things I wanted to talk about that I think are important for the latest home theater updates, guys. I think you're going to enjoy this video, as I've enjoyed figuring some of the stuff out that I'm going to be talking about today. Let's see what I've got in store for us. But for those of you that are into Dolby Atmos as much as I am, well, there's some news I'll be talking about that as well. I'll also be having a few videos on a few different other topics coming up soon as well too. Today's video takes us over to High Def Digest's website. And well, for those of you that own a Fire TV 4K stick, or an Android TV or Chromecast device, this might apply to you. But just this week, the companies announced that the tech giants are finally ending their streaming app feud. But after years of refusing to support each other's devices, well, Google and Amazon are finally ending their streaming war. What exactly does this mean for us? So I was actually unaware of this myself, but the YouTube app on Fire TV devices as of January 2018, well, was removed. And also, the Amazon Prime Video app was unavailable on Chromecast and Android TV products. Well, thankfully now the companies have decided to let bygones be bygones. So what this exactly means, guys, is that the Chromecast and Chromecast built-in products can now have the latest version of Amazon Prime Video from, well, Android 5.0 or higher, or iOS 10.1 or higher mobile devices. And, well, essentially, the YouTube app will now be available on the Amazon Fire TV sticks. Fire TV stick now running around $50 with Google Chromecast Ultra around $69. So for those of you with Sony or any Android TV, and well, a TV with Chromecast built into it, or any device with Chromecast built into it for that matter, can now access Amazon Prime Video directly from the device. Which, in all honesty, I've actually never done, because if you're using an AVR or any sort of surround sound processor, well, you're going to usually use something that can go into the AVR or processor via HDMI, not necessarily through an audio return channel. But nonetheless, it's still nice to know for that external Chromecast device, you now can access Amazon Prime Video as of this week. So speaking of Android TVs, one of the next things I wanted to talk about was the latest firmware edition released by Sony for their Android TV models. Let's not start assuming this is automatically Dolby Vision for your Pacific model. However, it could offer some fixes to some problems a lot of Sony TVs, at least, may have been having recently. I actually personally know a lot of people that don't like to have their Sony television connected to the internet, at least via Wi-Fi, all the time. That way certain apps aren't changed, removed, added, so on and so forth, and, well, certain changes don't take effect without knowing beforehand. That's probably because Sony recommends enabling the automatic software download option in the menu. But in other news, this time taking us over to the Sound and Vision website. There's a few different topics I'd like to touch upon on the Sound and Vision website, not to mention talking about Sony TVs and, well, Sony coming out with a brand new 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player model as well. But with streaming becoming so popular, have you ever actually asked yourself, what is the most popular streaming platform out there? Well, if you guessed Roku, you're right. In fact, it accounted for more than 30% of the US sales of connected TV devices in the first 3 months of 2019, with more than 41 million Roku-based devices in use. In fact, Roku has a 36% lead over Sony PlayStation, the second strongest platform, actually. In fact, in the two main rooms we actually watch TV, Roku's, well, they're our first go-to option for anything streaming. But with its intuitive searching menu with voice control, and with the Roku Ultra and advanced wireless receiver model, well, you're able to get 4K and HDR right off of a little streaming stick, basically. Nonetheless, Sound and Vision actually performed a study indicating that people prefer searching for content. Nonetheless, Sound and Vision actually performed an article indicating that people hate searching for content most of all about anything streaming. And I think Roku's is one of the easiest to use menus as far as searching, finding, adding streaming channels, services, so on and so forth. But keep in mind, it also comes down to the quality of the actual streaming device you're using. And, well, I'm always looking for the best audio and video. But the Roku's automatically search for updates by themselves even. But regardless, it's definitely one of the most convenient factors to use the streaming options. And Roku, well, just seems like one of the most popular ones. And well, according to Sound and Vision, the report said Amazon's Fire TV and Samsung's Tizen, I believe, were the second and third most streaming sold platforms after Roku in those first 3 months of 2019. And well, Google's Android TV and Chromecast platforms came in fourth with 9% of sales. You know, I've actually worked with the customer service team at Roku for some charges that weren't necessarily authorized on my account, and well, I can tell you it was taken care of within that same day. And according to them, Roku has managed to establish itself as a highly respected and trusted brand in the US, with no perceived hidden agenda when it comes to promoting content on its platform, unlike some other companies like, say, Netflix. And well, speaking of Netflix, are you interested to see how many people watched Season 3 of Stranger Things? I actually found it interesting that Sound and Vision took the time to do this little poll out of the people that were watching, but out of a total of 461 votes. But if you were one of those people that on July 4th you just couldn't wait to start the new season, well, the highest percentage, 34%, watched all 8 episodes that day. In fact, Sound and Vision even updated their poll on their website yesterday, indicating that 1 in 3 binged the entire season of Stranger Things. Interesting, huh? In fact, while we're still on the topic of Netflix, there's been a lot of talk about its updated audio quality and its bitrate and the ability to deliver Dolby Atmos. You see, back in May of 2019, Netflix announced that they were releasing what they call high-quality studio audio to their streaming platform. Available only to subscribers of Netflix's premium tier, is now up to 768 kilobits from 448. And while Netflix is still claiming they actually deliver Dolby Atmos, not lossless though. Quickly jumping back over to Sound and Vision's website, we've also had Denon unveiling its least expensive IMAX enhanced AVR, with their AVR X30600H coming in at $1,100. They've added some new features and updates in this receiver, but I personally think that this one's going to be a real hit, especially among some of the newer, younger home theater enthusiasts out there looking for a new AVR. And, well, if you decide to go with separates, you might just be having a new processor coming from Emotiva shortly. Also, don't forget to check out my review of Emotiva's newest preamplifiers coming soon. But for those of you that haven't finished Stranger Things yet, or maybe you just spent July 4th with your family instead. But either way, stay tuned, as I've got a lot of fun videos planned for this summer yet. And well, not to mention an entire dedicated home theater to finalize, with speaker cables to hide, and with brand new gear to test. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.